Good morning. This is February the 26th, 2024, Monday, and we are in BBIS first year compulsory English class, where we have been reading the text from the book Making Connections, right? Let me see where I get the electronic pen. It's here in my pocket. Okay, let me remind what we were reading yesterday. I seem to have got sore throat today. I do not know why. So yesterday we started reading the cause and effect essay, and we were reading this example where we were supposed to arrange the cause and effect. So there was a decrease in the traffic deaths on US highways in the 1970s. This seems to be an effect. The country needed to reduce the amount of gasoline that people were using. This may be, okay, let's check. The government introduced the 55 mile per hour speed limit. So if you make good inference, you can easily see which one is functioning as a cause and which is the effect produced. So let's say B should be the root cause. The country needed to reduce the amount of gasoline that people were using. So to achieve this effect, what the government did? Government introduced the 55 mile per hour speed limit. So B then C. B caused C. Then when government introduced the 55 mile per hour speed limit, then what was the effect? There was a decrease in the traffic deaths. So A. B, C, A. So where this is the cause, this is the effect, and this is also effect. But for this effect functions as a cause. Death decreased because of speed limit. Speed limit was implemented because the government wanted to reduce the consumption of petrol. This is what we did in the previous class. Now we'll move ahead. Okay. Oh, our camera was turned off before we could finish yesterday, right? And I don't know how much we have done. Okay. Let's read. Pregnant women who smoke often have babies with a low birth weight. Let's make it S1, sentence 1. Smoking slows the growth of the unborn baby and increases the risk of early delivery. S2. Low birth weight can have serious and long-term consequences. S3. It can result in serious health and learning problems for the child later in life. S4. There are 4 sentences. Now let's read them and decide what happens first and how it causes an effect. Their babies are often born with low birth weight. So we can easily see low birth weight is a condition or or result or effect. So always cause comes first and effect comes after. So no, we know that A will not go here because it comes second. Some women smoke during pregnancy. So here is a habit of women, smoking during pregnancy. So pregnancy, and here is born, pregnancy comes before birth. Pregnancy comes before being born. So now we know that B will come before A, no doubt. But we are yet not sure if B will come before C, D, E, F. Let's check. So pregnancy is a very early phenomenon, very early, right? And women smoke during pregnancy. That means smoking is also early phenomenon because it happens during pregnancy. Now we know that smoking and pregnancy are a very early phenomenon. Now we will read and check if other actions happen before that. The children often have learning problems. Now children, that means they are already born and grown up. So this means C comes after B. Then the unborn babies grow too slowly. Okay. Now unborn babies and pregnancy, they are similar. Now use inference and read sentence B and D again. Some women smoke during pregnancy. Women are doing something. They are smoking. And then the unborn babies grow too slowly. Now we know that D and B are related, but we need to decide among B and D which one may be cause and which one may be effect. So the unborn babies grow. Now here is growth, slow growth, and here is smoking. So we can infer that smoking contains tobacco and is harmful for health. So because smoking is harmful for health, it may have caused slow growth. So that means B is the cause and D is the effect. Now we know smoking causes slow growth. So now we know that D will come after B and B will come before D. Now E. The babies may have serious health problem. Now babies means after birth, right? So sentence 1 also talks about after birth. Sentence 3 also talks about after birth. Sentence 5 also talks about after birth. The babies are born too early. This is also talks about after birth. So F talks about after birth. E talks about after birth. C talks about after birth. A talks about after birth. Right? Only 2 sentences, B and D, talk about before birth. That means B and D will come before A, C, E, F. This much we are pretty sure. We are pretty sure that A, C, F will come after B and D. Now we need to decide between B and D which is cause, which is effect. And the cause sentence will come before effect sentence. So now we earlier said that smoking should be a cause for the effect of slow growth of babies. So now we go here like this. Now we write A. Let's put here B first, right? Some women smoke during pregnancy. Now B. The unborn babies grow too slowly, right? Women smoke So unborn babies grow too slowly. Now what will come third? So they grow slowly. Babies are born too early. Babies may have serious health problem. Okay, now we need to decide. B comes first, no doubt. Some women smoke during pregnancy, fine. Then the unborn babies grow too slowly, fine. The babies may have serious health problem. The babies are okay. So birth will come first before they have a problem. So F, A, B, C, right? F. The babies are born too early. Now, the babies may have serious health problem, and then the children often have learning problems. Now, children are older than babies. Babies are younger than children. So, the sentence that talks about babies should come before the sentence that talks about children. We can infer, look, inference, this is what is called inference. So now we know that BDF, now E, the babies may have serious health problem. Now we have two left. Their babies are often born with low birth weight. Right? Wait a minute. We made a mistake. Some women smoke. Some women smoke. B. Then the unborn babies grow too slowly. D. Babies are born too early, often born with low birth weight. Okay, let's put F here. Babies are born too early, let's cross it. T. Okay, only two left. Their babies are often born with low birth weight. The babies may have serious health problem. Okay. Now, low weight brings problem. So A goes here. The children are often have, their babies are often born with low birth weight. Now we have two left. The children often have learning problems when they get to school. The babies may have serious health problem. So get to school comes after, right? So E goes before. The babies may have serious health problem. Now SC, the children often have learning problems when they get to school. So we read like this. B. Some women smoke during pregnancy. Cause. Right? Then D. The unborn babies grow too slowly. Effect. Now, BDF. The babies are born too early. Effect. But for this effect, this is the cause. Right? Then, their babies are often born with low birth weight. Effect. Then the babies may have serious health problem. Effect. Then children often have learning problems when they get to school. Effect. So cause, effect. Now understand that. Please understand, for this effect, this is the cause. 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 For this effect, this is the root cause. This is the root cause of everything. Right? So this is called cause and effect connection. We call it cause and effect connection. Okay, let's move ahead. Have I turned on the mic? Yes. Okay. Skill practice 3. Let's learn. Use a cause and effect marker or connector from the box to complete each item below. Connector means that connects two sentences. Okay. Attribute, this is a marker. Okay. Lead to is a connector. Smoking leads to health problem. You are connecting cause and effect. Responsible for is a connector. Contributed to, okay. Bring about, let's read. Life expectancy increased during the period 1925-1940 when the economy was in a depression. To what can we this increase? Can you try? To what can now? Can is auxiliary verb, right? And once you have auxiliary verb, you require main verb. Now choose verb from here. Yeah? Attribute. Okay. To what we can attribute. You are correct. To what can we attribute this? Increase. Good. Some diseases are often associated with people's behavior. Therefore, a basic question to preventive medicine is this: how can we changes in lifestyle? Now again, can is auxiliary, right? Once you use auxiliary, next we require a main verb. So which is main verb? Lead, okay. How can we lead to changes? Okay, in a minute, let me write and check. Now read the whole sentence and ask yourself, does it make sense? Some diseases are often associated with people's behavior. Therefore, a basic question for preventive medicine is this: how can we changes in lifestyle? Do you think we'll use lead to here? How can we lead to changes in lifestyle? You lead someone to something. Link. How can we link? Okay. I don't think this is also correct. How can we link changes in lifestyle? It doesn't make sense. Try. How can we need a verb. Huh? Bring about. That's the right answer. Bring about means to make something happen. Okay, are you clear? Now, research, let's move at number 3. Research has shown that alcohol is a large number of traffic deaths. You need to see the verbs also. Okay. Okay, you quickly got it. Research shows that alcohol is responsible for a large number of traffic deaths. Okay. Number 4. Dash advances in medical science, diseases that once killed millions of children a year are no longer a danger in many countries. Consequences, okay. Let's write and see. Consequences, advances. Does it make sense if you read It doesn't make sense. So which one? You have used this one, gone. 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 What is left? Which one? Guess? Huh?
Link. A link.
Link? No. The right answer is thanks to. Thanks to advances in medical science, disease that once killed millions of children a year are no longer a danger in many countries. Okay, number 5. Improvements in diagnosis and treatment have the falling death rate from cardiovascular disease. Now look here. Here is have. So you need, this is auxiliary verb, right? So here you need main verb. So which one is main verb? Improvements in diagnosis and treatments have the falling death rate from contribute. Okay. Now if you use okay. Have we used this earlier? No. Okay, then we can use have contributed to the falling death rate from cardiovascular disease. Okay, number 6. Actions can have we don't intend. Okay, now look, the difference between this have and this have is that this have is main verb, whereas this have is auxiliary verb. So after auxiliary you need a main verb in past participle form. After verb you need a noun. So which one is a noun there? Okay. Actions can have link. Let's write link and check. Does it make sense? Actions can have link we don't intend. This should give you an idea what is appropriate there. Your sentence should make sense. Actions can have link we don't intend.
Yes.
Consequences. The right answer is consequences. Actions can have consequences we don't intend. Okay. We have done 6. We have one more. 7. Okay, wait a minute. Research has shown the between smoking and an increased risk of heart disease. Link, yes, you're right. You could easily guess. Research has shown the link. Okay. The new clean water supply is expected to. Now, to is infinitive. And after this, you need a verb. So, many improvements in the health of the villages. Guess which one is not used yet? Lead to. Lead to. You're right. Lead to. Okay. We have done the exercises. Now we are about to start our reading, but here is before you read. You know, reading has a process. Reading is a process. And this reading process has 3 parts. They are, we call them pre-reading activities, while reading activities and post-reading activities. Alright? Whatever we are doing in this class today, that is pre-reading activity. What we did in the second session yesterday, exercises, that was also pre-reading activity. Pre-reading prepares you for actual reading. Okay. Before you read, connecting to the topic. Before we read, we should think about the topic. Let's move. Read the definition of genes and then discuss the following questions with a partner, because you are the only student in class today, so we too will talk. Read the definition of genes and then discuss the following questions with a partner. Gene, noun. Gene is a noun. A basic unit consisting of DNA. So gene is a unit of DNA, which is received from one's parents and controls a particular characteristic in an animal or plant. So, my characteristic comes from my father through the gene. Now, let's see the question. Discuss some characteristics that genes control in human. Can you share some characteristics that you have and your father also has? And then you think that I have this feature because I am his son. Can you share? Like if your parents are too tall, you will be taller boy. If your parents are too small, chances are you will be a smaller boy. If your parents have fair skin, chances are you will have fair skin. If your parents have brown skin, chances are you will have brown skin. So anything can you share? What is, yeah?
So about features, physical characters.
Yeah. What is the similarity between you and your father?
Loving music, I'm loving music, fond of music.
Fond of music, okay. Loving music, but I'm not sure whether this characteristic is attributed to genes, I don't know. Genes mostly, they create physical resemblances. Physical resemblance. For example, my nose, if my nose is flat, my father's nose too will be flat. Right? Okay, let's see second. What characteristics have you inherited from your mother? Okay, let me ask myself. My mother is very humorous. She makes a lot of fun. She is good at caricaturing. She can easily imitate people's voices and behavior. And I see that I'm also very flexible as a teacher. I can make jokes, I can do caricature. So, my mom is very clever. And I believe I'm too clever, I don't know, but okay. How about you? What is the one similarity between you and your mother? What feature do you think you have inherited from your mother?
No feature.
Huh?
No feature.
Pardon?
No feature.
Knowing people. I didn't get. Could you write? Could you write what you were trying to say? Write what you're trying to say.
My mother is, her skin color is white.
Okay.
Whiter than me.
Okay. Your mother has got fair complexion and you too have got fair complexion. Good. So you have inherited the skin color from your mother. Good. Who is fairer, your mom or your dad?
My mom.
Your mom. Okay. My daughter is fairer than my son. Okay. Okay, third number. You can also inherit bad characteristics or diseases. Look, I'll share. My father quickly loses temper. I also quickly lose temper. So this is something bad I have inherited from my father. My father has cough problem. Now I'm 56. Recently, for the last 3 months, I have cough problem and it is not getting away. Right? So look, diseases, maybe the throat problem is from my father. So can you share something bad that you have got from your parents? Any health problem, any disease or any other thing?
No idea.
Nothing. You have no idea. Or you don't want to share because this is something bad. Okay. What are some genetic diseases that you are familiar with? Okay. For example, I'm diabetic. I have diabetes. Now, in my father's lineage, nobody has diabetes. But in my mother's lineage, my grandfather had diabetes. My mother's uncle had diabetes, and I have diabetes. My mother's all sisters and their children, they also have diabetes. In my father's lineage, nobody has diabetes, but towards my mother's line, they have diabetes. So I have diabetes. Okay, let's read out. Previewing and predicting. Looking for keywords can help you predict what a reading will be about. Looking for keywords. Okay, read the first sentence of each paragraph in reading 3. So we'll read only the first sentence. Decide whether you think the paragraph will be about progress or problems in genetic research. Put a check in the progress or the problems column if you think the paragraph will contain both progress and problem. Put a check in both columns. Then look for the keywords that helped you decide. Okay, so you will read, then you will decide whether the paragraph talks about progress or problem. Once you decide progress, problem, you will put a check in the appropriate column, and then you will look for keywords that help you decide whether it's about progress or problem. And then you will list. This is list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. List them in the third column. So you have column 1, column 2, column 3. So like example, serious diseases, birth defect, keyword like this. So first you will check, then see the keyword and note them. List them in the third column. Paragraph 1 has been done for you. Okay. We have the answer for paragraph 1. According to this answer, paragraph 1 talks about problems in genetic research.
What is the meaning of progress?
Huh?
Meaning of progress.
Meaning of?
Progress.
Progress. If something makes progress, it becomes better. It improves. My health is not progressing. My diabetes is not progressing. It is not improving. I am not having health progress. I take insulin, but my health is not improving. Okay. Let's read the first paragraph and see how we got this answer. Okay. While you read, as you read, stop at the end of each sentence that contains, now there is some problem. Let me use the book and help you. Reading medicine and genetic research. There may be a problem. Okay, we got it. Medicine and genetic research. Here is getting into topic. While you read, let's find this. Yes. As you read the article, stop at the end of each sentence that contains words in bold. Words in bold. Okay. Then and follow the instructions in the box in the margin. Then follow the instruction. Okay. In the box in the margin. Now let's move ahead and read. Medicine and genetic research, right? Medicine and genetic research. Promise and problem. Now, there is a problem, slight problem. The book, which is, which edition? (2005) edition. Oh no, this is 2009, right? First published, first South Asian edition. And this one, I don't know which edition is. I got this soft copy online. So be careful. Though we are learning from this example, follow this book. If you don't have the book, buy it and follow this, okay? Okay, let's read. And our job is, we will decide whether it talks about progress or problem. We'll put accordingly a tick and then we'll list keywords. 3 things. Okay. Scientists have long known that specific genes are associated with a number of serious diseases and birth defect. So the first sentence neither talks about progress or problem, it introduces the topic. Scientists have long known that specific genes are associated with a number of serious diseases and birth defect. So, genes, the sentence says, genes are linked to serious disease and birth defect. So disease and birth defect are caused by genes. Look, they use okay. See the word associate. The word associate connects the cause and the effect. The word associate connects the cause gene with the effect disease and birth defect. Scientists have used this knowledge to develop tests to identify defective genes which are the result of mutation, a natural process that alters the genetic material. Now, see, in first sentence, you have the word scientist, right? In the second sentence, you have the word scientist. This is called coherence by repetition of vocabulary. And this is a good feature of writing. If you take IELTS, TOEFL, etc. other exams, you should use such technique. You should use repeat words, okay. Scientists have used this knowledge, look here. This knowledge, this is called continuous idea marker. So this knowledge means specific genes are associated with a number of serious disease and birth defect. So the phrase this knowledge continues the idea that genes are associated with disease and birth defect. So this is called continuous idea marker. And to understand the phrase this knowledge, you must go back to the first sentence. And when you go back to the first sentence and remember what the first sentence said and connect with the second sentence, this creates coherence in writing. This creates coherence in writing. And understand that coherence is the most valuable quality in good writing. Okay. Scientists have used this knowledge to develop tests to identify defective genes. Look here. Here is genes repetition, which are the result of mutation. Now look, cause and effect marker. This is cause and effect marker, which are the result of mutation. Now this is italicized. That means this is an important vocabulary and you should note in your copy and you should check the meaning. Mutation means change. Viruses, look, COVID-19 virus has many mutations, right? Okay. Which are the result of mutation, a natural process that alters the genetic material. Now look, here is the word mutation and this is the definition. See here, there is a term and then there is definition of the term. There is a term and definition of the term. This is also one technique of creating coherence in writing. Look, here's a term, so term and definition. So to understand this term, you must read the definition. To get the single word for this definition, you must come back to the term. So this was S1, this is S2, right? Now we move to S3. Don't have patience, we'll be very slowly, right? We need to understand everything, we are not going to hurry. Researchers have identified, now look here, the word researcher is very close to the word scientist. To the word scientist. So scientists are researchers and researchers are scientists. So the noun researchers in sentence number 3 means the same as the noun scientist in sentence number 2 and 1. This is called coherence by synonym. We call this technique coherence by synonym. If you use words which have similar meaning in different sentences, the sentences have coherence or connection. Okay, researchers have identified a large number of genes that are responsible for life-threatening conditions. Now, let me teach you one more important thing here. Every paragraph has a topic or subject or theme. Okay? And one way to identify the theme of a given paragraph is look for the most repeated word. And if you look for the most repeated word in this example, you will see that sentence 1 has the word gene, then sentence 2 has the word gene, then sentence 3 has the word gene, then sentence 4 has the word gene, then sentence 5 has the word gene, sentence 6 has the word genetic, sentence, okay, look, there are 6 sentences in this paragraph, and all 6 sentences have the word gene. So no doubt this paragraph is about gene. Look how you know theme. Now if somebody asks you what is the theme of this paragraph, you can easily say the theme of this paragraph is gene. This paragraph says something about theme. And there is something called coherence by theme. Coherence by theme. Your paragraph must talk only about one idea, must talk only about one theme. So this paragraph talks only about the idea of gene. So the idea for this topic is, this paragraph is gene. There are details, okay. Nobody will teach you such things. Even if you go to your TOEFL and IELTS classes, I guess the teachers may not have such ideas and they won't explain you. Okay. So we were reading this third sentence. Let's put numbers. S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. Okay, 6 sentences. Let's read. We are here in 3. Researchers have identified a large number of genes that are responsible for life-threatening conditions. So now genes responsible for life-threatening conditions, researchers have identified large number of genes that are responsible for life-threatening conditions such as cystic fibrosis, a disease that shortens people's lives by attacking their lungs, and Huntington's disease, a fatal brain condition. Once these genes are identified, genetic tests for many such diseases become available. These tests can indicate a person has a specific defective genes. By 2011, researchers had developed more than 2,000 genetic tests which allow doctors to inform patients if they have inherited these genes and if they risk passing them on to their children. Now I have a question. Do you think this paragraph talks about progress in medical science, or do you think this paragraph talks about problems in medical science? Progress, you are right. So this, no doubt, this paragraph talks about progress. And if you check the earlier section, no, we are wrong. We are wrong. And we have to read carefully how we became wrong. I also think, but the book says it's about problem. Oh God. Read once again. Read once again. Oh God. Scientists have long known that specific genes are associated with a number of serious diseases and birth defect. So, serious disease and birth defect. This is a problem. Wait a minute. Associated with genes, right? Second sentence. Scientists have used this knowledge. This knowledge means the knowledge that genes are associated with disease and defect, birth defect. Have used this knowledge to develop tests to identify defective genes. So, this knowledge that genes are associated with disease is used to develop tests. And this test can identify defective gene, which are the result of mutation. Defective genes are result of natural process that alters the genetic material. Researchers have identified a large number of genes that are responsible for life-threatening conditions. Okay, researchers have found out those genes which cause bad conditions, such as cystic fibrosis, a disease that shortens people's lives by attacking their lungs, and Huntington's disease, a fatal brain condition. Once these genes, so these genes means genes that are responsible for life-threatening conditions. These genes means genes that are responsible for life-threatening conditions. Once these genes are identified, genetic tests for many such diseases become available. Once these genes are identified, they can develop tests, right? These tests can indicate if a person has a specific defective gene like this one. By 2011, researchers had developed more than 2,000 genetic tests which allow doctors to inform patients if they have inherited these genes and if they risk passing them on to their children. Your book says, the soft copy says, paragraph 1 talks about problem. No. Actually, what the writers are doing here, they have got the word serious disease, birth defect. Like for example, serious disease, birth defects. So writers think that this paragraph talks about problem in scientific area because of the word used serious disease and birth defect here, right? But I'll disagree. I'll say this paragraph talks about progress, not about problem. Because this sentence here, sentence number 3, researchers have identified a large number of genes. So let's turn to the audience. Dear audience, viewers, if you are watching this video, we in class could not decide because the book says the paragraph talks about problem, and as we read, we feel it talks about progress. So please, in the comment section, help us by answering, what do you think? Does this paragraph talk about progress or problem? We think it's about progress, but the book says it's about problem, and we leave the problem to you. We'll be grateful if you could solve a problem. Okay? So I think it's about progress. What do you think? Because this sentence clearly says, researchers have identified large number of genes. It says, look, they have developed By 2011, they developed 2000 tests. So this is progress, not problem. Okay? But the book, surprisingly, look here, book says it's about serious disease, birth defect. Right? And I don't know. So our answer is this one. This one. And the keywords, I'll say the keywords will be, I'll show you the keywords. Look, identify large number of genes, one keyword. Then develop more than 2000 genetic tests. This says that this is progress. They identified genes, they developed tests, this is progress. Okay, now let's go to second paragraph. So we'll do three things. We will read, then we'll decide whether the paragraph talks about progress in the field or problem. And then which words tell you whether it is progress or problem. Here we move. These tests look, I'll show you something. This is para 1, right? This is para 2. Coherence is not only about connecting sentences. As I showed you earlier, coherence by repetition, right? Coherence by synonym, right? Coherence by theme. There is also coherence among paragraphs. So we need to learn how we can show a link between paragraphs. And this is what is happening here. Let me explain you a wonderful thing about writing. So while we are reading, we are also understanding how to write well. Okay. These tests, this is continuous idea marker, because we have the pronoun these and noun tests. Now to understand what these tests mean, you must go back to previous paragraph. So look here. By 2011, researchers had developed more than 2000 genetic tests which allow doctors to inform patients if they have. So these tests means the genetic test that scientists developed. So to understand the meaning of this phrase, these tests, you must recall the idea of 2000 genetic tests in paragraph 1. So without remembering this idea from paragraph 1, you cannot understand this idea from paragraph 2. So you are required to go back to paragraph 1 and remember what you read earlier to understand what you're reading now. This links para 2 with para 1. So paragraph 2 is linked with paragraph 1 by continuous idea marker. Got it? Okay. These tests are significant. Okay. These tests are significant milestones in genetic research. Look here. Here you have the word genetic research. Here you have the word researchers. Here you have the word scientist. Here you have the word scientist. These tests are significant milestones. What is milestone? Milestone is a point that tells distance you have covered. Because These tests are significant milestones in research because they provide people who have genetic defects with important information. Now look at this. See, the first one is because is cause marker or region marker. Now, these tests are significant milestones in genetic research. This is called main clause. Okay? Because they provide people who have genetic defects with important, this is called dependent clause or subordinate clause. So first is main clause, second is dependent clause or subordinate clause, MC main clause, then it is connected with because the connector, then dependent clause. Main clause because dependent clause. Okay? Subordinate clause. Now this is also technique of creating coherence. So the two clauses are connected by the region marker or cause and effect marker. Okay. However, this is called contrast marker. We also call this argument marker. However, introduces opposite idea. However, the tests, this is continuous idea marker. The test means these tests. These tests means generic tests. However, the tests also introduce complex ethical issues. Look here. So the word complex should give you some idea whether this paragraph will talk about progress or problem. What do you think? If something is complex, is it making progress or is it creating problem? Problem. So now we are not sure right now, we'll check, but we guess that this second paragraph will talk about problem. And what tells you? The word complex. This is why we call reading is like being a detective. Reading is like being a detective. When you are a detective, you look for clues. A detective doesn't reveal his identity and looks for clues. So you are looking for a clue and you guess, oh, this hints that it's about problem. Something complex poses problem. Okay. However, the tests also introduce complex ethical issues. If patients find out that they have a dangerous genetic defect, they may not know what to do. Look, complex ethical issue. Ethical means moral. Ethical means about right, wrong. Right, wrong. Should teachers tell a lie in class? No, this is ethical issue. If I tell a lie to you, I am unethical. Okay. However, the tests also introduce complex ethical issues. If patients find, now tests introduce complex ethical issues, this tells problem, right? And now this defines the problem. This sentence says there is a problem, and the next sentence defines the problem. If patients find out that they have a dangerous defect, they may not know what to do. Now look here, this sentence this is an example that supports the claim in the previous sentence. The previous sentence talks about problem. The problem with the tests. Why, however, look here. Look. Watch carefully. Tests are significant milestone, it says, right? First, it says that tests are very important progress. Then, it gives a reason why they're important, because they give important information. Tests are important progress. One idea. Let me write. Tests are important progress. One idea. Plus, this sentence says they have complex ethical issue. Look, the two ideas are opposite. First idea says they are important progress. But second idea says they have complex ethical issue. They are opposite ideas. When you connect two opposite ideas, you use words like however. However, although, even though, in spite of, despite, etc. That's why we call however as contrast marker. What do we call the word however? Contrast marker. Because it marks the contrast between the idea before it and the idea after it. Tests are important progress, however they have ethical issue. Right? So, sentence 1 and sentence 2 are connected because they present opposing ideas. So this is called coherence by opposition. Coherence by opposition. In the two sentences have relation because first says one thing and the second opposes it. Coherence by antonym, coherence by opposition. Look how writing is done. We are reading, but we are learning how to write. Okay. If patients find, now look here. Now here, sentence 2, S2 and sentence 3, S3. Now if you see, S2 makes a claim. What claim? Tests have ethical issue. Sentence 2 makes a claim. What claim? Tests have ethical issue. A claim. Sentence 3 gives example to support the claim. To support the claim. Why we should believe? It gives a reason. So, S2 claim, S3 reason to support the claim. So this is called, look here, coherence by claim plus reason structure. First sentence makes a claim, second sentence second sentence makes a claim, third sentence gives a reason, claim plus reason. That's called, this is logical coherence. This is logical coherence. When you make a claim, people look for reason to believe you. Okay. Their decision, look here, this there is a pronoun, right? To understand what there means, you must go back to patients. If patients find out that they have a dangerous genetic defect, they may not know what to do. This they means patients. This there means patients. This is called pronoun reference. What do we call it? And we call this coherence by pronoun reference. Coherence by pronoun reference. Okay, their decision will depend on several factors. Look here. It says decision will depend on several factors. So use the word here. Several means many. Now look here. First, in some cases, identification of the gene only suggests the likelihood that the patient will develop the disease associated with that gene. For example, women who have inherited the harmful BRCA gene mutation have a much higher chance of developing breast cancer than other women do. See figure 1.3. Now look here. Several factors. Now you will see first, second, third. So here is several factors and there is a list of factors, right? This is again another example of coherence because first refers to factors and this is explained. Now move ahead. We have a graph. In academic reading, academic writing, you will encounter a lot of visual information. Information not presented with words, but with pictures and graphs and diagrams. So here we have figure 1.3. The chance of developing cancer in women with the BRCA gene mutation compared to women without the mutation. Okay, let's read this graph. You should learn how to read non-verbal text. This is non-verbal text. Okay, percent chance, 0% chance, 10% chance, 20% chance, 30% chance, 40% chance, 50% chance, 60% chance, 70, 90. So this is 0, this is, which one is y-axis, which one is x-axis if you know. You study economics, right? So this is center.
That horizontal one x-axis.
Okay, horizontal is x-axis. So this is x and this is y. Okay, okay. So percent chance and women with BRCA gene mutation have 50% chance of getting cancer. Women in the general population have about 2% chance of getting cancer. Women with BRCA gene mutation have about 89% chance of getting cancer. Women in general population have about 10% chance of getting cancer. Okay, breast cancer by age 50, breast cancer by age 70. So by 50, BRCA gene mutation causes 50% cancer. Without this mutation, only 2% cancer. By 70, BRCA gene mutation causes 89% cancer. Lack of this gene causes only 10% cancer. So you see visual presentation of data. Okay. Reading is a very lengthy process. Reading is a very complex process. And reading contains a lot of techniques and strategies. It requires patience. Okay, let's read. Thus, we are reading saying now, thus means, thus is called conclusion marker. Thus is called marker. Thus, it is likely that women with a genetic mutation will develop cancer. So, conclusion, women with genetic mutation will develop cancer. There is higher likelihood. But, now this but is called contrast marker. But it is not certain. Look, it is likely, but it is not certain. A second important factor. Now, if you know earlier, it said the sentence was their decision will depend on several factors. There was the word several factors. Then the next sentence had the word first. And you have the graph. Now you have second. Look, this is also one way to create coherence. First, second, third. A second important factor in the decision is what? Look, the decision. To know what the decision means, you have to go back and look there. If patients find out that they have a dangerous genetic defect, they may not know what to do. Their decision will depend on several factors. Earlier, for example, look here. Where is their decision? Here. Look. You have the word their decision, right? And the same idea is repeated below in the same paragraph. Again, here you have the decision. So the decision, remember the decision earlier. This is called coherence by repetition. The decision is whether there is a treatment. A second important factor in the decision is whether there is a treatment, and if so, what kind of treatment. Look, in the case of the BRCA gene mutation, a frequent treatment is major surgery before the cancer develops. Women who test positive for the mutation must decide between this treatment and the possibility of dying of cancer. Now let's decide. Does this paragraph talk about progress, or does it talk about problem? Problem, okay. You think it talks about problem, right? Once again, quickly read and confirm if you are right. Quickly, just read. These tests are a significant milestone in genetic research because they provide people who have genetic defects with important information. So, this talks about progress, right? First sentence. Let's move ahead. However, so this brings problem, right? However, the tests also introduce complex ethical issues if patients find out that, so the problem is this one. Problem. If patients find out that they have a dangerous genetic defect, they may not know what to do. Their decision will depend on several factors. First, in some cases, identification of the genes only suggests the likelihood that the patient will develop the disease associated with that gene. For example, women who have inherited the harmful BRCA gene mutation have a much higher chance of developing breast cancer than other women do. Then we have a figure. So no doubt, you are right. This paragraph talks about problem. You are right. So it's about problem. Now, which keywords tell you that this paragraph talks about problem? Like dangerous genetic defect, like complex ethical issue. Right? Okay, now let's move to the next paragraph. Reading is tough. Academic reading is tougher. Unfortunately, for some genetic diseases, there is no treatment. Problem. The sentence says there is no treatment, which gives rise to even more complex ethical issues. Problem. Would patients want to know that they are going to die young or become very sick if there is no treatment? See the ethical issue. Should we tell the patient you will die after 1 year or not? See the problem. Some may want to know so they can prepare themselves. Okay, somebody say, okay, tell me, I'll prepare to die. If there is a chance they could pass the disease to their future children, they may decide not to have children. For others, however, look here, coherence. Some, for others, see the coherence. This sentence talks about some and others. See, for others, however, the news could ruin their lives. They might prefer not to know about their condition and enjoy their lives while they are healthy. So, suppose I have cancer. If I know I have cancer, my life will be hell. It's good not to know, right? They might prefer not to know about their condition and enjoy their lives. They might, that's why we say, ignorance is bliss. If you don't know, you can enjoy. They might prefer not to know about their condition and enjoy their lives while they are healthy, so they may decide not to get genetic tests at all. There are also possible negative consequences if this private health information becomes public. Suppose people know you have cancer. It could be more difficult for patients with genetic conditions to obtain insurance. I once tried to get insurance and they said, we need a medical report. I have diabetes. And I knew if they don't have diabetes, they won't give me insurance. So this paragraph talks about problem. And what are the keywords? Keywords can be like complex ethical issues. Then what are the other keywords? Become very sick. Then okay, disease. Ruin their lives. Negative consequences. Okay. Done? It's easier. It was easier. Fourth paragraph. Genetic testing is the first step. Do you see from paragraph 1 we are talking about genetic test. Paragraph 2 genetic test. Genetic testing is the first step in conquering diseases caused by defective gene. So this is called topic sentence, and this is called topic, and this is called coloring idea. Most researchers hope that the next step will be gene therapy that repairs or replaces the defective gene. So this is about progress, right? Gene therapy. This would mean, for example, that BRCA patients would not face such a difficult decision. Progress. Instead, they could receive a treatment that actually changes their genetic material. Progress. More people would probably decide to take genetic tests if they knew that treatment were available. Progress. So paragraph 3 talks about progress, not problem. Right? Do you agree? Huh? Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4 talks about progress. Do you agree? What are the keywords? Like conquering diseases, keyword, gene therapy, keyword, receive a treatment, keyword. Okay. Paragraph 5. 5. At the end of the 20th century, researchers, look, para 1 use the word scientist, then the word researcher. Researchers means scientists, began to develop treatment for a variety of life. Okay, develop treatment, good news, life-threatening diseases. The early results seemed very encouraging, and consequently people with genetic diseases became hopeful that they would soon see a cure. In 2000, for example, French doctors successfully treated babies who had a rare genetic disease that affected their immune system. They injected the babies with a healthy replacement gene. 10 months later, the children's immune system appeared completely normal. So is it progress or problem? Progress. It is also about progress. So where is the main idea in paragraph 4? Paragraph 4, where is the main idea? Paragraph 4. Here's a question. You have a question. Where is the main idea in paragraph 4? This is the main idea. So it is in the opening sentence. Right? Okay, number 6. Along with these early achievements, however, look again. However brings problem. There were considerable problems and limitations. Success occurred in only a small number of patients with rare conditions, and even those results were mixed. Sometimes the therapy, where is the therapy? Somewhere they use the word therapy. In previous paragraph somewhere they use the word therapy. Okay, leave it. Success occurred in only in a small number of patients with rare conditions, and even though the results were mixed, sometimes the therapy caused more problems than it solved. 3 patients have died from effects of gene therapy. In addition, enthusiastic researchers sometimes underestimated the time it would take discoveries in the laboratory to become practical therapies, often leading to disappointment and a loss of confidence in field of gene therapy. So does this paragraph number 6 talk about progress in gene research or problem? Problem. However tells problem is coming, then what are the keywords? Problems and limitation. keyword, right? Then, okay, therapy caused more problem. Then, patients have died. Huh? Okay. Number 7. Okay, in spite of these setbacks, continuous idea marker. You have to go to paragraph 6 to understand what setbacks. These setbacks means the treatment caused problem. Many scientists pursued their research in gene therapy. They believe, look, earlier they used however, now they use the word in spite of. This is also contrast marker. And don't use same word in your IELTS exam, TOEFL exam. Use different. Look, here they first use however, then they use but. No, they use instead of, in spite of. Okay. They believed, they means scientists. This form of treatment is still, this form of treatment means gene therapy. It still had great potential. However, 3 basic technical challenges stood in the way of their progress. First, look here. It says 3, then first, then second, then finally. See, coherence. First, wait a minute, I'm out in the class. Finally. First, second, finally. Look how coherence is achieved. Structural coherence. Okay. First, gene therapy is not like other kinds of treatments in ways a patient can take a pill that sends medicine throughout the body. It must be introduced into specific genes. Second, scientists need a way to deliver the therapy directly into the cell. In many cases, they have used a virus to do this, but they have to be sure that the virus will not harm the patient. Finally, they have to be sure that the new or repaired gene will not turn off there after it is introduced into cell. So, do you think paragraph 7 talks about progress or problem? Problem. It talks about problem. And what are the keywords that tell you that the paragraph talks about problem? For example, setback. Right? Setback, and then technical challenges, and then virus, patient, right?
Yes.
Okay. How many paragraphs are there? Oh God. Let me just a minute. Oh, only 2 paragraphs. We will finish it before we take a break. After years of research and trials, scientists had made considerable progress in solving these problems. Now look, these problems is continuous idea marker. You have to go back. In the first years of the 21st century, positive results began to emerge, arousing renewed interest in the field. In a small clinical trial in 2007, patients with Parkinson's disease received genes for production of an important protein that they lacked. All 12 patients experienced an improvement in their condition with no negative effect. In 2011, researchers successfully treated patients with hemophilia, a disease that prevents blood from clotting, by injecting them with the healthy form of a defective gene. These were major achievements, but they are particularly exciting because the treatments are for major diseases that affect large numbers of people. So is it about progress or problem? Progress. Which words tell you? The word progress, and then positive result, and then and then clinical trial, and then look, experience an improvement, no negative effect, successfully treated patients. So this is about progress. What is this picture about? Human body, cells with the defective gene removed, healthy cells returned to patients, virus engineered to be no longer infectious, healthy genes introduced, cells infected with the virus and reduced. Okay, let's go to paragraph 9. So understand that in academic writing, you will also see pictures, right, as you saw earlier. All of these positive results have revived the public's interest in gene therapy. So this essay is about gene therapy. Look, positive results, revived interest. Many researchers and scientists have renewed their belief in its enormous potential to treat killer diseases like cancer, diabetes, cystic fibrosis, and CVD. Potential to treat. However, they are now more careful to warn patients and the public that many effective genetic therapies may still be years or decades in the future. So, is it about progress or problem? Progress. Which was tell you? Positive results, receive public interest, potential to treat. It's about progress. Okay. Now we have read, we'll stop here, and after the break, we'll do exercises. Okay? It was a long session. Thank you for your patience.